and welcome to my presentation on our action research project, Genrefication of East Middle. Today we're going to be looking at the purpose for this action research project, the problems that we are seeing here at East Middle School, the research questions that we have, a little bit of literature, and then our research plan and how we plan to disseminate results once we have them. The goal of every library is for students to read. We want them to read for pleasure, but many students are not checking out books and they are not able to find the books during their checkout times due to the organization of the library. And so we're going to look at how a new organization of the library could increase student access to books. Our problem statement is the students at East Middle have a limited amount of class time to check out books. There are not enough computers or librarians to assist students in finding books that interest them during their checkout time. This action research project will examine how implementing a different organization model influences student checkout practices and increases student reading for pleasure. To guide us, we are going to look at the following research questions. How does changing the organization of the library, specifically genrefying, impact the circulation of the collection? How does genrefication impact the time it takes students to find and check out books? And how can instruction help students be successful in the new organization of the library? So first we need to start with what is genrefication. Genrefication is the organization of the library collection based on genres or subjects that are more easily browsable than the Dewey Decimal System. This is also sometimes called a bookstore model. If you go into any bookstore, you see that books are not sorted just by alphabet for every book in the store, but they're sorted by nonfiction or fiction, poems or languages or romance, fairy tales, children, adults. So all of these different genres tell you where to look for the things that you know that you're interested in. And we would like to apply that same principle to our fiction section here at East Middle. This is very similar to how students search for other things in their lives, like music or movies or shows. And so we want to replicate that so that they are more successful at finding books here at school. Literature is very supportive of genrefication. It suggests that genrefication leads to an increase in so many different aspects. Amanda Biro's article, To Genrefy or Not to Genrefy, says that it can lead to higher circulation, an increase in student independence, and it can encourage students to browse the shelves. Alyssa Soltanic said that genrefication can lead to higher self-efficacy among students. There's a less of a reliance on the librarian and his technology to assist them, and it can improve collection development among the librarian. And then April Witteveen looked at many different libraries in her article and found that genrefication can empower students. It can also lead to those higher circulation numbers and an easier time looking for books. So our research plan. We plan to conduct our research at the end of this school year and part of next school year. So our librarian would collect data by distributing surveys, conducting interviews, and observing classes. They would do the first round of this data collection at the end of this school year, and this would help us determine if genrefication is the path that we should pursue for our school library. If genrefication seems favorable due to our first round of data collection, then we would genrefy at the beginning of next school year. And we would have extra time during that pre-service week to start to reorganize our collection. Then at next school year, we would do the same data collection to see if student circulation has improved. The goal of this is to increase circulation, which is always our goal in schools, and it will hopefully lead to a higher reading for our students, which would lead to higher test scores and increased literacy among our students. And the librarian and the media assistant would be the one distributing surveys to ELA teachers and conducting those observations, and then this would give them the summer to analyze some data. For data collection, we're going to use various methods. We are going to use different methods for each of our research questions because this is going to help with our validity. We want to make sure that the data we're collecting is truthful, and we all know that students are not always that truthful when asked questions, especially on a survey where they don't have to be identified. And so they might just start clicking answers. And so we're going to look at circulation records from this year and next year after genrefication to see if there's been an improvement. We're going to do a survey with students to see if they feel different in the library and notice an improvement in their searching for books. And then we're going to do observations of students. We'll observe classes this year and we'll observe classes next year to see how students go about finding those books. We'll also take a look at our library schedule to see how often students are coming to the library, how much class time they're being given to check out books, and we will do deeper interviews to support our student surveys to make sure that students are able to fully explain what they mean on their survey so that we can know if genrefication is our right path, but then also how much it's improving students' use of the library. This is all going to help with our reliability of our data. We want to make sure that we are being accurate with all of our data that we're collecting. And so using various research methods and various sources is going to help to make sure that we get the same data across all these different points so that we know that genrefication really is working. For our student survey, they're going to take a survey called Finding Your Next Read. This is going to be taken by all students in the school. This is going to give us the ability to get everyone's participation. They'll do the first round of data collection at the end of this school year and the second round in next school year. The librarian and the media assistant are going to distribute the survey to ELA teachers so that they can conduct the survey during their ELA class. These are some of our sample survey questions. We want to be looking at how often do students go to the library, why are they going to the library, and when they come in, how do they use the library? How do they get the books that they check out? Are they able to find books at all? Do they feel rushed when they are in the library, or do they feel relaxed? And then would they prefer if things were organized a little bit differently? Then we're going to look at our observations. Observations are going to be done by ELA classes when students are in their ELA classes, when they visit the media center, and those classes will be randomly chosen. The librarian is going to observe the classes and tally the way that students are finding their books. So are they searching the collection? Are they searching the catalog? Are they going up to the librarian, the media assistant, or their teacher to find their books? And we want to make sure that as many students have a chance to participate as possible. So we want to observe as many classes as we can, but I'm not going to say that we can observe all of them. So this is a sample of that data collection sheet. And then after the class comes in, we're going to look at the number of books that were checked out and how many students were actually checking out those books. And we are hoping to see that more students in each class are checking out books, but then also the higher number of books are getting checked out. If we go through with the genrefication process, then we will present our data from our surveys and our observations at a faculty meeting and let the staff know that we are going to proceed with the genrefication process. And that would require determining our genres, weeding some books, purchasing new books to fill in genres that are lacking a full collection. We're going to need help classifying certain books because certain books might go between different genres. And then we're going to need to color code every book and move all the books in the library to reorganize them. And this is going to lead to that higher circulation and that higher reading for pleasure. And then we're going to need to get some new signage so that students know where to find all their books. And then at the end of the year, after we have genrefied, we are going to report on the changes to the circulation after genrefication and report those findings from our repeat student surveys. Are students feeling more successful in the library? Are they feeling more comfortable? Are they checking out more books? And so once we have all of those results, our study is going to determine if genrefication is the right option for our school library to increase circulation. And then our study is also going to prove if genrefication increases the circulation and the accessibility of books to make that library a place to visit and hopefully lead to more student reading. This is going to hopefully lead to our higher literacy scores on our MCAP tests, which is, of course, our school goal for our SIT development. These are, of course, my references if you wish to consult any of the articles from my literature review or any articles on action research. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation on the genrefication of East Middle School, and hopefully we can see the success of our library collection. Thank you.